Kissoon Show. Bring it!
Let me ask you this question. I would like to ask the AG to propose legislation for what we call small claims court. There are lots of poor people, to an example you just gave, that they have issues with others and sometimes with large firms, but the lawyer fee is greater than the fee you're claiming.
It is disrespectful.
It is their right.
The right that someone has. All of our rights exist in context.
What is the context of a second medical opinion?
Because you're disrespecting the process.
No.
Jesus, this is common sense, man.
Any situation which you seem to do, you're just dealing with Afro-Guyanese issues. If one, you can't bring and pull the leaders of the African community together, you're failing. And if two, you can't put forward a future, a blueprint, and a plan for African Guyanese, you're failing as well.
Pleasant Friday evening to you. This is the Freddie Kissoon Show with my co-host on my right, Leonard Craig. Craig is on my right, but he's actually on my left, ideologically speaking. One of the most controversial political parties to have emerged the past 6 years in Guyana is a new and united Guyana, ANUG. And the brainchild behind that was a former PPP icon, Ralph Ramkaran. ANUG remains controversial for very, very curious reasons. And I don't think we're going to get in all the questions we want for the next hour because there's a lot going on with ANUG. To my left is the acting chairman. There's no leader of ANUG. The chairman is the de facto leader. And to Mr. Jonathan Sabrian's left is Mr. Niall Stanton, long-serving executive. All that has been going on in ANUG and the way ANUG behaved before it merged with WIN and after, according to its former chairman, those decisions were endorsed by the executive. And these two men were involved in the executive, sat down there, and according to Dr. Mark France, were part of some of the most controversial decisions made in recent politics. Now, one of that decision is the Frederick Kissoon scandal. At that time, ANUG had some huge names in the legal profession. Tinny Houston. Tini Housty, Ramkaran, Timothy Jonas, his wife. And so they made an open agreement with Miss Frederick Kissoon that she will serve a 3-month in Parliament as part of the joiner list. And then ANUG will take the reign in Parliament for the next 2 years. Miss Kissoon said no after her 3 months was up. And nothing could have been done because there was no legal paper. No legal paper. Now, ANUG, having bitten by that, signed a legal agreement with WIN as to how seats will be divided. And it turned out they got shafted again, just like how Frederick Kissoon shafted them. And at the Georgetown Cricket Club, when we were interviewing Dr. France, Leonard Craig asked him, where is this agreement? He said the executive decided that they wouldn't make that agreement public. So I'll hand over to Leonard Craig.
Okay, gentlemen. Again, welcome for coming.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
We have so much. Now, I want to start with the agreement with WIN. Yourself and Mr. Mark France was on this program.
Excuse me, gentlemen.
This
is my family, right?
Sorry, a little before the election. And Mark France, to some extent, eulogized the WIN leader. At the time, WIN had no name and what have you. And I think Mohammed was yet to declare. But nevertheless, Mark France believed that if he run,
you collecting it at 3, right?
ANUG come together with them,
yes, I will come.
Then they can work miracles, so to speak. But I could remember myself and Freddie disagreeing with that desire. And from everybody I spoke with, Mr. Ramkaran and so on, seem to have disagreed with that desire. What caused you guys to make the decision to go in that direction, to link up with WIN, sign an agreement, and all of that? What led to that? What happened?
I do believe that information is in the public domain, but I will reiterate what was in the public domain and add a little bit of neatness to it. Mm-hmm. Mr. Ralph Ramkaran, though he embodied ANUG from the beginning, from the genesis, as well as other legal luminaries, you had Tini, you also had Mr. Jonas. When we had our election in 2025, they opted not to run in that election. Ergo, they were not part of the decision-making body. That's the first thing. Okay? Mm-hmm. We reached out to them because of their being institutionalized in ANUG to ask their opinion. Right. We had mixed opinions. Mm-hmm. The ones that you heard from are the ones who probably made statements, public statements. Mm-hmm. There are others who agree with us and some disagree with us, like I said. So again, the first thing I want everyone to understand, Ralph Ramkaran and Timothy Jonas were not part of the decision-making body at that time, so they did not run. Understood. Good. And that's clear. So when we asked them for advice, so to speak, or feedback, pushback to them, so we had a mixed approach to this. Some agreed, some disagreed. Mm-hmm. The executive themselves made a decision based on the feedback we received.
From the totality of the views you canvassed?
Yeah, yes.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And the question that flows out of that, what were the political considerations that led to you making that decision?
First of all, Leonard, I didn't make the decision. It was a decision made.
No, I mean, when I say you,
I want to rephrase that. I do not want the audience to ever get away with something like that. We are democratic. The organization, ANUG, made that decision. ANUG's executive made a decision. It wasn't Francis' decision. It wasn't Jonathan's decision. It was ANUG's executive committee's decision. Okay? Now, that being said, we looked at the optics. In 2020, we had rock stars at the helm of ANUG. And they invested considerable cash and emerged with an agreement to enter Parliament, a one-seat agreement, however it was. And nothing came out of that for the simple reason that the memorandum of understanding was just that, a memorandum. It was non-enforceable in court. You see, when I looked at it from a legal point of view, it was not Asha Kissoon. It was that one seat that really needed to be explained. We have legal opinions about it. GCOM may have a legal opinion about it, and others would have legal opinions, but we probably had needed a court at that time to really talk about that seat or the joint agreement. What does it constitute? That was never done.
Okay.
So whatever Asha Kissoon did, I cannot speak for at that time. Maybe she saw it that it was more favorable for her to plunk herself, that don't come off, and we take emotions away from analysis. Like I just said to you a minute ago, it was a non-enforceable document. So you can cry foul as much as you want to. It wouldn't change anything at that point. Okay? Now.
You finished? I was coming to...
Go ahead.
The second thing, when they spend that considerable amount of money with rock stars at the helm of the organization, there was not much to show for that money and the time and effort, etc., etc. So that was one of the reasons.
You coming across cynical. Anyway.
I detected, but let's
no. I'm not being cynical. I'm being very factual in what we're saying here, because these are some of the things that we socialized amongst ourselves in the executive before we came to a decision. So no cynicism here. Okay, so after we took so many other things into consideration, we went. The executive went back and forth amongst ourselves. We're looking for best practice. We'll weigh the pros and the cons, and we decided that would be the better way to go, because we'd have a better. We envisioned then that we would have a more robust participation, including entry into Parliament, that we didn't have before.
More visibility.
I yield the floor.
Gentlemen, I will have to leave. Leonard will. This is a very important family thing. So I must go. But Leonard will, I carry on the decision. I just want to ask one thing before I go. Are you taking WIN to court? Dr. France said they reneged on an agreement to give a certain amount of seat based on what they have. They only gave one seat, and that one seat, ANUG did not choose the person. Mr. Azharuddin Mohammed chose that person. That document that was signed and now reneged on by Mr. Mohammed, are you taking Mohammed to court?
I have to correct you there, Freddie.
We have to correct France.
Yes, I have to correct you. The first thing you said, I cannot speak to what Dr. France said or meant what he said. All I can tell you that the document that we have, the decision of the Executive Committee of ANUG, we're not releasing the document itself. Okay, that's the first thing. The second
I didn't ask that. Are you taking him to court?
No, I'm coming there. I'm not meandering. I'm just coming there. I'm just do a little bit of digression to come there. Second thing is, there's no reason for us to take them to court, because it is the opinion of the ANUG Executive Committee that
such a decision should not be taken.
Yes, because there are a couple of things that were not visible at that time. We renegotiate with them for other positions in other state institutions, etc.
Another
Leonard, just take over.
I think
you put Leonard in the hot seat. Okay, Leonard.
It's a family emergency.
I know. Hope all is well.
I think what we need to understand, right, is that we at ANUG, whenever we're doing anything, we do it, the way it's supposed to be in a democracy, where everyone have an opportunity to make that decision. I mean, sometimes the decisions that you make may not please everyone, but it must be fair. And I would think that we're the only party at this point in time that does things like that.
I hear you on all of that. There was an accusation that members of the executive of ANUG were in the pockets of the Mohammeds. Do you care to address that? And have you heard that claim?
I would have heard that.
Have you investigated it? And do you think the committee could have been swayed in that direction because of that fact?
No one was in the Mohammed's pocket. I mean, persons are just saying things out of the air, right?
Yeah, but did you investigate it?
We did our own little investigation, and nothing came out of it. The decision that was made, as John will say, it was made by the executive, a decision to collab with WIN. Right, so when all these persons saying, "Oh, the executive get paid for this and that," it's not true. It is not true. I think people just say things because they want headlines or likes.
Let me add to that, Leonard. Azharuddin Mohammed has been a gentleman and a gentleman through and through and through, and to this day, he still is a gentleman through and through and through. He's never not wanted to meet with us or engage us in conversations. Okay? Fruitful conversations. And I still say that despite prevailing circumstances, the man has been a gentleman and been true to his word with us. Now, wherever you're getting other opinions from, I can't speak for Dr. France. I can't speak of Dr. France's personal or his other agendas, whatever. I can't speak for him for that. Nothing to do with that. I can only speak on behalf of the other executive members of ANUG. And we'll be fairly treated.
You're satisfied you're fairly treated?
Absolutely so. First of all, first. Second thing is, to add to what Niall said, we did due diligence after we heard this. We heard the accusations. We heard it loudly on Critics Show how certain members of our organization received X amount of dollars, 20 million, 100 million, whatever it is. We've heard gambling debts from other people. We've heard so many other things, right? We did a due diligence as far as we possibly can. We haven't found any one of our executive members who were in the decision-making body. I can't speak for our corporate members or the other members, the executive members. We did our due diligence on them and didn't find any one of them to be wanting. That's the first thing. The second thing is, Dr. France was always the intermediary between ANUG and WIN. Because he knew them a little more than the rest of us until we got acclimated with them and to them, and then we'd have discussions with them, and then when we entered negotiations, etc., etc. But he was always a point person. Okay? I yield.
The impression we got, and I think that's the impression the public got, is that Azruddin Mohammed selected the member from ANUG to sit in Parliament that he wanted and not a member that was nominated by the committee. Do you see that as fair, or is that in keeping with your agreement that you had with
I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said the two things, fair or in compliance with the agreement we had, right? We think it's fair. And here's the reason why.
No. So you're
I'm going to come to the second one.
accepting that he unilaterally named that person.
I didn't say that.
Oh, okay.
I said it was fair, and here's the reason why. We were tasked to put a percentage of male and female up on the candidates list. She was not our first choice of females on the candidates list. The one we wanted could not. Okay? The one we wanted initially could not. I would not name that person for the same reason why she could not.
Not naming the person, but at least you need to let the public know why she could not. Is she a dual citizen?
She was in a position of trust where she would wire hundreds of millions of dollars external of Guyana, money all over the world. So because of that position she was in, she discussed it with the people in her organization. And they told her that that would probably be an exposure issue on account of the ongoing.
But that person was on the list.
No, that person
they
did
never
not.
made it on the list.
That was
okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yes. Okay. So on the list that we had to have a percentage of male and female, etc., on the list. She was the next viable candidate on that list.
So that was your leading female that you submitted to be on the list.
That was one of the list female on the list of candidates.
There were many more females.
No, I know, because I see the list and I got an idea of some of the people who came from ANUG. I have a fair idea. But what I'm trying to get at, because the accusation is that ANUG sat silently while Azruddin Mohammed, in his own deliberate judgment, selected who he wanted.
Not so.
And that is what I'm asking you to clear up.
Not so.
Did you give him that name?
There were names that were there. There were names that were suggested that were there. And we had three names, prominent names suggested on that list. She was the most prominent of the three on that list. Okay?
And so you gave him a free hand to select.
We told him at that point, we have three people here who fit the criteria. She was a preeminent of the three. That's what we said to him.
All right.
And we did not tell him, because I sat in the meeting. I did not say that, yes, we're going to force this person upon you, this ANUG person upon you. All we're saying that she's a preeminent person right now in ANUG's bailiwick, so to speak. That's all.
So you know that the information you're giving now is highly contradictory to what Dr. Franz said while he was the leader of ANUG.
I can't speak for Dr. Franz, first of all, right? Hold on. I cannot speak for Dr. Franz, first of all.
No, I'm saying to you, the information you're giving now is contradictory to what he said while he was still
Niall
chairman.
Stanton is here. I was here. There are two of us here right now. I don't know what Dr. Franz said here, how he came to that conclusion. All I can tell you that the record speaks for itself. She was one of ANUG's female on the candidates list. Her name was on there. We gave them several names. We told them which one we think would be a preeminent candidate. And they asked, I said, we're not telling you who to judge or who to pick. We're just saying that. That's all. Okay? I add no more to that.
Fair enough. So, since that time, or since the end of the election to now, you are satisfied that ANUG has... Oh, let me put this question the other way. You're satisfied that the agreement you have with WIN is being upheld by WIN?
The original agreement, we had to tweak it a little. The original agreement. There was a reason why...
Post-election.
Yes, we had to tweak it a little because there were other state positions.
That was not catered for in the original.
Yes.
And so you... All right. Mr. Stanton, let me ask you this question. The impression we got in the public is that you did not pursue a party-by-party agreement with WIN, that you subsumed your party under WIN, because as it was evident, only WIN went to the election. Do you think that was a prudent decision that you guys came up with given hindsight now? From you think that was a good sound decision?
The reality is, right, and the executive made a decision, right? We have a member at this point in time who's going to represent us in Parliament, right? If we look at the last elections, we were supposed to have a female inside there representing us by Miss Althea King. She never went in. So at the end of it, we might look and say, oh, this is not a good deal, or maybe, more could have come out or more could have been done. The reality is that ANUG is going to have a representative.
So you consider this an upgrade?
And so it's a win-win. And sometimes in
no
business,
pun intended,
right? Sometimes when you go into business, yes, we go into business to make a profit, or we go into business to win. And I believe that she's inside there. It's going to be a good representative. She's a good representative. She's going to make good decisions in terms of representing both ANUG and WIN.
So she is integrally involved in the activities of ANUG.
Yes.
And she has not, she did not slide over to WIN, and is okay. You're satisfied that your interest is being represented.
Yes.
To that point, I didn't hear. I wasn't wrong. I hear. And I was telling me that when she introduced herself, she does introduce herself as Nadrani Singh, MP, ANUG's MP under the WIN umbrella. She does that. Now, concerns that we have, we discuss with her. And if she has to move a paper on the floor, etc., she also discusses that with the WIN organization. There's like a hybrid thing going on, but she does represent ANUG's issues. So far.
What is the parliamentary agenda for ANUG that you're hoping to bring to the front that you're hoping to, whether you're going to negotiate it with WIN first to get it on the order paper or whatever, but what your parliamentary agenda looks like?
There were two things that comes foremost in our mind, right? Is a constitutional reform, and the second one is the GCOM, the composition of the GCOM commissioners. Those are the two things. Those are the two things that we have right now on top of our priority list.
I am happy that you brought up the GCOM issue, and you are an attorney.
Am I segueing you so you're feeding off what I'm saying here?
No.
Okay. You should have standalone questions, but go ahead.
No. It's good to follow, but I had that question for you directly.
No worries.
Because I wanted to piggyback off of something that Asweddin Mohammed said.
Okay.
WIN did issue a Facebook call asking the current GCOM commissioners to resign. And along with the current chairwoman stating that the new opposition leader would have to make his own choice. And that created some spiral. And it became the focus in politics nationally. Where Alexander is saying he is appointed for life. We had Ralph Ramkaran on Wednesday, on our Wednesday program, and he agreed with that position. There are some people who have a different interpretation, and you are an attorney. Do you agree that Alexander and others got lifetime tenure? That is one. And two, as WIN seem to have been indicating they want to run them out of town, do you agree with that approach?
Run who out of town?
Alexander and others.
All right. I have to be a little bit tangential to bring this back to focus.
That's okay.
As it stands right now, these two pressing questions that we have about people cannot go any further unless you have a LOO, a leader of the opposition.
Understood.
And right now, there's hesitation, overt or covert hesitation, to appoint a leader of the opposition. And if there's no appointment with a leader of the opposition, then everything else is moot. All the questions you ask me becomes invalidated simply because of that. That's one optic. Okay?
The answer slipping. You're slipping out. But go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm a lawyer, so
go ahead. You're slippery. Go ahead.
Let me go ahead with it. That's the first thing. Now, for the public's awareness, there was a clause pre-1992 that said that GCOM should be dissolved or will be dissolved within 90 days after election. I'm using my own words. Good. When the Carter formula was introduced in 1992, somehow or the other, that tiny little piece was not included. And I do believe, and this is my opinion, that they thought that the two parties will be there forever. Either the PPP will be ruling and the PNC would be the backbencher, or vice versa. There was no accommodation in 1992 for a third party to become the lead opposition. That's my personal opinion on that, okay? So the appointment of the commissioners were constitutionally appointed since 1992, basically. Good. So that answered one part of the question. Ralph is a legal luminary, far more knowledgeable than I am, has been in Guyana's politics for generations. So he has an acumen of knowledge. He has institutional knowledge of things like this. I will dare not speak
defer to him.
Always I would defer to him on things like that. That's the first thing. The second thing is, if you look at the way the parliament is structured and the loops or loopholes between GCOM and the way the parliament is structured, that needs to be addressed. Now, whether they need a court to decide, because in as much as Ralph is a legal luminary, that's his opinion. So we may have varied opinion. I would say, if there's no traction, go to the court and let the court decide what should be the outcome of that.
What I would ask both gentlemen this question. Do you believe that the GCOM commissioners, the opposition commissioners, should resign and allow WIN to name the impending leader of the opposition to name his own choices? And how do you see that playing out?
I think at least two. I mean, at the end of the day, there's three parties going to make up the opposition, right? There's one party that has more seat than the others. So I'm thinking that maybe if one or two should resign. I mean, we cannot. At times we can't just sit in one position all the time. You know, it become redundant. There, other people out there will have come with fresh thoughts. You know, fresh mindset. So for me personally, yeah, we'll have a new leader of the opposition and give that person the opportunity, you know, to execute his or her, you know, job or position.
Did you discuss that at your executive level?
Within
the GCOM commissioner issue?
Yeah, we talked about it. We marinated that. Right.
Are you willing to sometime in the future, if not now, put out a public statement on it?
So, yeah, but I want to just say something about that right now. I believe having a 3-3 will always be a stalemate. We will always default to the chair to break that stalemate. And as history would have proven before now, and you know, forgive me if I'm incorrect in this, since I haven't gone all the way back. For the optics is that the chairman appointed by the prevailing government in a tiebreaker invariably breaks the tie in favor of the prevailing government. I do not believe that the chairman should be the tiebreaker. I believe you should have a 7-man committee, minimum 7-man committee, made up not only of political parties, it could be some other entity or a smaller political party also, not just the two major political parties.
And that would be for constitutional reform.
That would be part of that too?
Right, because...
For me, it's a better mix. You have more people with different ideas. You're not stuck on 3 and 1, 3 yes and 3 no. It would not be herd mentality. It would not be what you call no peripheral. It wouldn't be jackass blind mentality.
All right. I have a suspicion why the political parties, though they know what you have just outlined and might even believe so, but I have a suspicion that they wouldn't want to go in that direction because Guyana is a small society and it would be difficult to find people who, I'm talking about the prevailing political feeling, might be difficult to find people who are impartial. Because when you look at election time, that election season, people who you least expect to say certain things or behave a certain way or take a certain side, you seeing people are coming out of the woodworks and taking sides. And then you wonder if there is any impartial person left in the country.
Glad you said that.
So how, when you acquiesce to having 7, how are you selecting the 7?
First of all, the guy who did the Constitution in 1980, his son used to go to Queen's College. We tapped him a lot after that, you know. So, since 1980, and as we were speaking, Leonard, that Constitution served every prevailing government. Many times they promised to change or to do some reformation on it, etc., but they seem to find favor with the Constitution every single time they go into office. Good. That being said, it has to be a will. It has to be a willpower, because if you look at the political scene right now, the dynamics are changing. They are changing. The people who are in the voting age now are almost 65% of the Guyana population. What I'm saying? That's 2 generations we're talking about. Assuming 20 years is being considered 1 generation, right? Now, dynamics are changing. Nobody expects, and I harken back to what I said to you about the 1992, they took out that little part there, about that, I harken back to that now you have, and for want of better optics, the leader of the or the presumptive leader of the opposition, it's of the same ethnicity as the prevailing government. That would have been unheard of 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago. You follow what I'm saying? The dynamics are shifting and changing. You also have a population that are very savvy, media savvy. Everybody has a smartphone. They get their news, whether it's incorrect or correct. And CNN has something out that 55% of the people in the world, a poll that they did, do get their news from Facebook and other social media outlets, hardly so much as the
copy people,
right, and so not so much from the legitimate news outlets. He said what happens there at that time is that although you get sensationalism sometimes from social media, people would gravitate towards that more so than the other side. And if the younger generations all over the world, including Guyana, are apt or adept in social media, they will be influenced by that. Hold on, let me finish. Will be influenced by that. Now, like I said, the dynamics are changing. And the dynamics are changing, and we have the willpower to influence the people for those same changes I spoke about. A 7-man GCOM commissioner, 7-man GCOM commissioner, minimum 7-man GCOM commissioners. The point is, somebody will not have to have the matrix as to how you qualify or what will be the criteria. Now, for me, the criteria have the prevailing government, the opposition government, or all the opposition smaller parties sit together and see if they can build consensus. Instead of issuing directives, build consensus. I yield.
I'd let that go, but I see a difficulty in that approach. I think Carter was wise in kicking off the thing with 3 and 3 and
let me interject for 1 second. That Carter formula was supposed to have been a temporary fix. That was supposed to be the temporary fix for 1992.
Yeah, grant that to be so, but as time goes by, the political powers that be realize that they don't want to change it because
they found favor in that.
You're changing it for what? Something that is secure.
Right. Like I'm saying, they found favor in that. But again, I harken back to what I said. They probably thought that the PPP and the PNC will be, on the seesaw. Nobody, as a third force, would not be able to be the LOO, so to speak. But the dynamics, like I said, have changed. And how are they grappling with that change? How are they contemplating those changes? How are they embracing those changes? Like you said just now, people are reluctant sometimes to move from that comfort zone to something that they don't know was beyond them.
All right. Were you both on the list in WIN?
Not me.
You were dual citizen.
Yes, sir.
So and you were on the list.
Yes.
Did you campaign for WIN?
Yes.
While campaigning, did you get a sense that 16 seats would be the possibility, or did you think at the time you will get some seats but not as many?
You want him to answer first?
I honestly think we would have gotten more seats.
You thought you would have gotten more?
I thought we would have gotten more. Right? So getting 16 seats in just 3 months, I think it's great. You can see the shift of how things are happening in Guyana. Right? We will have a new opposition leader.
So while you were campaigning, realistically, you thought what?
I honestly thought that you would have gotten between 21 to maybe 22 seats.
Really? Interesting.
Right? Because of the young people that I talked to, right? And the places that I went and visit, right? I know that, a change was going to happen, right? I also thought that you would have had a minority government. That was my thought. But I never, say it out loud or anything, because I believe when you enter a competition, you go to win, right? So for me, wholeheartedly, yes, I wanted them to win, but literally, I said if we don't win, this is what I thought the party would have gotten. So my expectation maybe was too high, right? But I thought at the end of the day, 16 seats is great. It already show you that what can be the outcome for 2030.
I like to jump into that. A different tangent altogether. Though the expectations were higher among those seats, and I saw you smile. I hope that's not a cynical smile for you, Leonard.
You had that expectation too. Personally, I'm talking about.
Yes.
I'm not talking about your party.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Based on the places we went and the kind of crowd that came out there. Now, we also know that crowd doesn't mean that people put the thumbprint or whatever to it. But here's the thing. For a party that came about, in 3 months, we're able to grab or garner 16 seats. Mm-hmm. It tells more about the people than the party. Mm-hmm. It tells me more about the disenchantment amongst the people by the prevailing political parties. That they were, it was embedded in their psyche. Children, grandchildren, it was one after the other, and they're looking for a change. For me, it's not the optic, not the amount of seats. They're looking for a change. Mm-hmm. And Mr. Mohammed and the WIN team probably represented that change that they were looking for. Now, WIN is like a Buju Banton song. Mm-hmm. Very nice, beautiful, but it can last only so long in its original with all the oomph. Mm-hmm. What you do after that, when the rubber meets the road, is when you have to perpetuate that same charisma of the party and the party leader going forward to ensure that the things you don't overpromise and underdeliver. Mm-hmm. You don't overpromise and underdeliver. And you ensure that the party going forward will attract, retain, and receive more support as you go along on issues that are dear to the people's hearts. Now, that being said, the 16 seats that was received for party fled in 3 months. From 2020 to 2025, and that's why I'm dragging the two together, from 2020 to 2025, the PPP, or the prevailing government, spent over $5 trillion. Mm-hmm. Over $5 trillion between 2020 and 2025. How many extra seats they garnered this time around? 4? Is it 4? 4 more?
3.
3 more than what I had before. Mm-hmm. $5 trillion you spend in 5 years, and you got 3 more. If the people are so much in love with you, they should be kissing your feet. You should have gotten 45 seats.
No, but
let me finish. Mm-hmm. Let me finish. Mm-hmm. I'm speaking about analytics. Mm-hmm. $5 trillion spent from 2020 to 2025. If you were so good to the people see you as a savior, as a godfather, they should be kissing your feet and voting overwhelmingly for you. You should be gotten 40, 45, even above that because of the amount of money that came into Guyana and that was spent. The question is, if we are still moving from 48% to 45% of the people below poverty level in Guyana after 5 years, how does that reconcile with the government and the people? So 3 seats, $5 trillion, 3 extra seats. I yield to you again.
I think you're trivializing.
Am I?
People's political decision, but I don't want to. I
leave an opinion for you. That's your opinion. Go ahead.
Yeah. But I don't want to be seen back and forth with you on that.
That's fine.
I just let that prevail.
No worries.
Now, the next question I want to ask. Azudin Mohammed was sanctioned, and he had some, what I would refer to as wretched accusations against him.
Okay.
And you still, as an executive, chose to go into an agreement with him, and not just an agreement which allowed him to be the figurehead and the leader, which prompted the immediate resignation of some of your founders and more prominent members. Isn't that a conflict of in several ways? If you want, I can list the conflicts, but isn't it conflicting? And how did you go there? How did you arrive there?
You want Niall to go first, and I go after that?
I mean, as I mentioned before, right? Mm-hmm. As a party, decisions got to be made. Mm-hmm. Some decisions some people will not like, right? Mm-hmm. The mere fact is that this was proposed and individuals choose. It's not like a case where I come and say, oh, we're going to do this and this is what got to be done. No. persons had the opportunity to air their views, who want to support, who did not support, who want to resign, who want to stay. Right? So the opportunity was there, and you, as adults, we choose. Remember, when you're going into politics, right? This is not not church you're going to. So people will say all sorts of things. You have to be prepared for this. And so whatever heat comes our way as an executive, we will take it and respond in the appropriate way. At the end of the day, right? So as I said, some persons will not like all the decisions that you as an individual or you as an organization make, but ANUG will have somebody
and you're satisfied with that decision,
right? What even if personally, let's just say me personally don't satisfy with that. As a member of the executive, it was an executive decision. I have to support that. I will not come out here and air my personal view. When I'm here talking, I'm representing ANUG. And so my personal view is not important at this point in time. I'm a representative of ANUG.
That's a distinction we always make. When we come in any forum, we take in the position that we are representing ANUG and not our personal opinion to opine and anything like that. This is the focus we have here. Adding to what he said and the question you asked before, a man is innocent until proven guilty.
Okay.
Politics makes very strange bedfellows. The OFAC sanctions, the man has not been indicted in his country, in Guyana. The OFAC sanction is going to be happening someplace in external Guyana, right? Now, we are having gatekeepers of Guyana's finances, external of Guyana. Information coming into Guyana about the OFAC sanction is not available to the public. We probably get bits and pieces, however it's here. Hold on. You ask why we still went and campaigned, etc., knowing fully well that this man has been OFAC sanctioned. And my first statement is, a man is innocent until proven guilty. I would never have any qualms then, now, or thereafter to support him still or support WIN still, unless and until he gets incarcerated or becomes a felon or something of that sort. The man is still innocent until proven guilty. You can have overwhelming opinions one way or another. Deceitful, wretched, thief this, knock down that. You can say the man is still innocent until proven guilty. I yield.
Two questions come to mind. One, based on the decision, let me ask you this other question first. Do you think the current government was correct in its decision in its last term to fire Minister Dharamlal, or to accept or to force his resignation? Do you think that was a sound decision?
I cannot speak about that since I am not...
No, I'm just talking about based on what's in the public domain. I can't speak about it.
Exactly.
Also, but we're just talking about based on what's in the public domain. Just that alone, nothing else. What's in the news and nothing. I'm not asking you to sit in the executive of the PPP or anything like that. Just what's in the news, what you hear about. Do you think there was a justification for firing the minister?
Honestly, I can't comment. I would not comment. I can't. I don't have all the facts. What is in the public domain may not be the facts. And as a lawyer, these are not the facts. So what can be sensationalism that's out there, I would not comment. I will never comment on something like that.
Okay. All right.
You want to change seats? Let me ask you the questions then, Leonard. But go ahead.
No. The thing is this. Do you consider yourself in a moral dilemma where accusations are made against the government? Long list of accusations, corruption, all kinds of accusations. Based on the answer you just gave, do you consider yourself, your party, and WIN to be in a moral dilemma with respect to accusation against government people where there is no proof of, not proof, there is no conviction or evidence of the said accusations?
I can't speak about WIN. I can speak only about ANUG. If you want my opinion, my personal opinion, I will.
You can give both your opinion
right.
and ANUG's opinion.
My opinion is that unless the court finds fault with the accusations and vote that yes, it's true and there's incarceration, etc., that's the position I hold. I do not invoke or incite or put any personal prejudice against active investigation or unless the court deems that necessary. Meaning, I don't care who said what in the public domain. If it's not proven, it's...
And what's your party's position on that?
My party holds a neutral position. Let me give an example. Niall and I were talking before. Tepui, critic. We, the public in Ghana, for example, sees critic as the face of Tepui. But critic is not the only person in the executive Tepui. When is the critic received, I'm rounding it off, $1 billion for a contract? Critic did not receive that. I don't believe so. It is Tepui, the group, that received that. He may be part of that group. When you say he received $120 million, critic received $120 million as a upfront fee, whatever it is. It's for us. It's not critic. It's Tepui. If you're going to lambast critic, you have to prove that you gave a check in the name of, what was his name?
Michael Rodriguez.
Yeah. That he has a check in his name as director of Tepui or whatever. Then you also have to understand what role does he play in Tepui? Is he the president, the treasurer, the secretary? That's how I operate. I don't accuse. I look for where things fall between the crack.
That's circumventing the question slightly. My thing is this. Based on the decision you have made as a group, as a party I'm talking about, don't you see yourself being unable to follow up accusation, well, not follow up, but unable to yourself pursue results of an accusation against the government that is not proven in court?
I would never do that. I would never do that.
So, do you think there's corruption in this government?
Perception that there is. There's perception in the public domain. That's a perception. Prove it.
So,
I will wait.
You have no proof. ANUG has no proof. And therefore, you cannot reasonably make such an accusation.
I don't make that accusation. ANUG doesn't make that kind of accusation. ANUG has never made that kind of accusation. Jonathan Sabrian never made that kind of accusation. Niall Stanton doesn't make that kind of accusation.
Understood.
We always say, we are more evidence-based than actually allowing our emotions to overcome our sense of reasoning. That's the road we take. Evidence-based, not emotions.
And that prevails throughout.
Right, throughout.
Whomever.
Throughout.
With whomever.
Yes. My enemies, my friends, they deserve their day in court. And that's the position we hold. And that's what we advocate in ANUG. And that's part of ANUG's bylaws also. The democracy that we have in ANUG, 5 of us may grind our teeth and hold one position, but 7 of them has it on the other side. We have to go with the 7. We do. But we will not open this mouth and abrogate our fiduciary responsibility to ANUG, as some others may or may not have done so before.
All right. So now, since prior to election all the way coming down now, we have not, at least not any prominent ones that I could remember, any press conference coming from ANUG, any press statements coming from ANUG, and there's so much happening in our body politic. Why is ANUG now ANUG is a national party because
Yes.
you have a member in parliament.
Yes.
Why you're not part of the national conversation with respect to the politics of Guyana?
You want to go first or you want to go?
Go after.
Okay, you go after me. We are in a restructuring phase as it stands right now, right? There are many moving parts for the past month and a half.
Yeah.
A month and a half, we're in a restructuring phase. We don't have all the parts in place as yet. So we cannot credibly go out to the public with a half, what do you use the bad word? We don't want to go in half measures out in the public. Whatever we say in public can stand scrutiny and can be fact checked. We don't want to go out on a limb to wing anything as yet. We're still in this phase putting together. We have a couple of meetings and we're formalizing things together. But watch us to have a press conference within maybe another month or so, once we have everything in place. Because lots of the folks that we have now, young people, more or less, they're younger people, but we have to coach them and couch them and let them see, explain the bylaws to them, explain the constitution to them, let them understand the brevity, their roles, etc., etc. We don't want them to, like, 5 people have 5 different opinions on one subject. We need them to understand that we are a party and this is how we operate. And it must be within your psyche, it must be within your DNA.
And you will see new faces, right? You won't be seeing us all the time, right? As John rightfully say, we're restructuring. More persons are coming on board with us. A lot of persons thought that maybe because some of our well-known figures would have moved away because of the decisions that we would have made at ANUG, that probably ANUG dead. But at this point in time, you'll be surprised the amount of persons who are reaching out to us because they like what we stand for, what we do. They're reaching out to us, joining our party. So in the near future, ANUG will be bigger and better. It'll be a force to reckon with.
How can you, with the operator signal 4 minutes remaining, how can you be bigger and better when your name is literally subsumed under WIN? You're going to parliament under WIN. And as I said just now, you're extremely quiet in the political space. How you coming bigger and better?
You want to go first or you want me to go? Okay. I said before, Leonard, we are in a rebuilding phase. We are in a rebuilding phase. And the people that we have that wanted to have the appearance of being totally committed to what we stand for. And what we do, we give them our bylaws, our constitution, let them read it, let them see if they're okay with what we stand for, because we will need their active participation. Many of them that we have are also hesitant at this point here to be seen in public. They're covertly helping or assisting ANUG in many different ways. There will be a time when they will be able to be overt about the whole thing. Based on victimization, political climate, and I'll give you one. Since the GCOMA put the list out of all the candidates that were part of the WIN organization, many of them were victimized with the bank accounts, etc., etc., etc. The current legal cases going on right now concerning that, right?
Why you use the term victimized? You don't think the banks were trying to protect themselves?
There's several opinions about that. I'm an OFAC. I'm in anti-money laundering myself, but part of my specialty. I think it was overreach.
Yeah.
Okay, I think it was overreach.
We cut overreach and victimization are two different things.
The bank used the word de-risk. This is a very arcane term right now in finance. De-risk. There could have been 3 things happening there. I'm just going to narrate to you one. They could have gone, the Guyana body, the banking association, could have gone to OFAC and asked them to unambiguously state what that means to these people. The first thing. they could have had a tickler file, an exception file. If you, Leonard, had in the past 7 years, you had 15,000, you put in 1,000 here, 200 there, 1,000. You got in the past year, you got $15,000. You put you on a tickler file and see if there's a sudden influx of another 15,000 this week, another 15,000 next week, 30,000 like that. Then you can make a decision on that. That's the second thing. Third thing you could have done, you could have put a sign, due to the prevailing OFAC sanction against the WIN leader, anybody who appears on the WIN's candidate list will cease to have their banking privileges within the banking community. Those are things they could have done proactively.
Yeah, but that not having been done to the extent that you outline amounts to victimization.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
By whom?
The bank probably, I know for sure, pressured by the. Okay, let me get an example.
And you, based on the precedents you set here,
I'm going to add to that.
You gotta have facts.
I'm going to go to that. Republic Bank has a license to operate in Guyana. Republic Bank, that's the Trinidad Bank, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it registered in Trinidad, has a license to operate.
Yes.
They never closed any single account of our members. Yet the banks that are registered in Guyana, some of them, I can't speak if all of them did. They did close accounts of members of them. Yet Republic never did. So where's the double standard there? Who's making the decisions? Is it coming from Gominganga and then the rest of the Bank of Guyana? Or is it individual bank?
Are you aware there's something called the Association of Indigenous Banks?
Yes, fully aware of that.
Are you aware that many decisions are taken at that level as well, with respect to banks, which neither Scotia nor Republic would qualify to be? And by the way, Scotia also refuse some of the accounts. Anyway, I wish we could continue, but our time
You can
is
call
up.
back anytime.
I'll give you guys last closing statement, 30 seconds each, and we'll take it.
I just want to say thank you for having us here. We look forward to coming again and continue this discussion. You'll hear more from us at ANUG. You'll see more of us. And let's continue all to work together to push Guyana, make Guyana a better place.
The political dynamism in Guyana has changed and is changing rapidly. We have 65% of the younger generation who are in the voting age, the majority of the voting age. We are asking them all to be prudent in their decision making, look at all the facts that there are, analyze the facts, and run with the facts rather than emotion. Make sure you strip propaganda away from your decision making. You're making a decision for yourself, your children, and all future generations. You're also the custodian of all the oil wealth and other wealth in Guyana. Make the best use of it. Thank you all.
Thank you, viewers, for being with us tonight. We were talking with two members of the ANUG executive, and we look forward to having them in the near future again, or other members. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, audience.
Take care.